No, I'll do yours. Reggie, what did you think about this episode? What was your favorite part?
And my favorite part was how everybody at some point brought up that we need to appreciate our materials more and give them more purpose, meaning.
William, what was your favorite part?
I really loved exploring how something as seemingly minor as materials can affect our lives in a million ways, and I had never really spent a lot of time thinking about that before the podcast.
That's awesome. Mary, did you find one?
I loved learning that I've got the most ideal tortilla hookup in Costa Rica when the time comes.
Cat, what was your favorite part?
I really like that moment where Tim turned it dark. Like we were like, we're gonna take this path. We're gonna take it.
You can count on Tim for that.
It's funny because my favorite part was when Kat started talking about how she was helping her cousin prepare an altar for a death in the family. So it's kind of relating to the darkness, but it was so bright to me to hear this story.
I love that. Yeah, that was great.
The name of the bad person on EastEnders, which is
really?
a British soap opera.
Her name is Cat Slater?
Famous Titanic.
I love that.
She's like the meanie. So like I'm gonna like when if I go to the UK, I always like introduce myself as Cat Slater just to see if they like catch it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
Spelled wrong, but whatever.
Episode 14.
I felt that
Yeah.
through my body, through my soul.
I am supposed to be hosting today, and I've forgotten how to host.
Oh, there's no. You wing it every time.
Welcome to Age. Hi. This podcast where we pull a topic out of the trash can and discover its relevance in our lives, professional and otherwise. I'm Mary Green. I'm joined by Tim Scroggs, Cat Slater, and Reggie Tidwell. Cat, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah. What's your impression been so far? How's it going, do you think?
We've just gotten started.
Yeah. Okay. So good. So far.
Good. Neutral.
I feel like
At best.
there are a million things I need to update you and our enormous crowd of listeners on. This is my first episode back from a very long vacation, but I'm going to save it for another day. Should we? I'm just going to go ahead and.
Unless the topic is Japan. Yeah. Then it's the.
Will you do the honors?
Ooh, there's a lot of weight on this.
Yeah. Juju.
Ooh,
And then you unroll it and don't show anybody, and then go show the camera.
I'm not looking.
Oh, it's a good one.
Okay. So I'm going to show the camera, right?
Oh, what was it?
All right, what is it?
Okay. So the topic is materials.
That basically is Japan.
That, and also we were just talking about you being a cobbler. And I literally used the word materials because I said if you made shoes for me, you'd need a lot of material.
Just, yeah,
we'll just tuck it
hold
down
it close
here.
to your heart.
Hold it close to your heart. Who put in materials? That's an interesting one.
I love that though.
I like it.
that one.
What comes to mind, Kat, when you think about materials, just the word? What's your first association?
Like good quality materials, like fabrics or paints or leather or things to make things with.
You might have just said this, that Kat has a dream of perhaps one day becoming a cobbler and making shoes. Yep. Materials. I went to the same place pretty much, but you were like, what if you pull Japan? And one of my big takeaways from Japan, I think you had sort of primed me to be thinking this way because Tim also took a long journey to Japan, was around materiality, like even just the difference between staying in a hotel in Japan and staying in a hotel in Seoul, Korea. It was like the Korean room was beautiful, but it was all like vinyl, like wallpapers and things. It was just, it looked nicer, but when you looked too closely,
You're like,
it was kind of a sham.
Monet.
Yeah. But in Japan, it just felt like everything was so real and so like made out of natural stuff. And there's a peace that comes with that, I feel. But that's also where I think.
There's a culture of protecting material in Japan too.
Yeah.
Like clothing lasts longer. You're very caring and careful and fix it and store it well. And
Yeah.
because they say like vintage shopping is really great in Japan
Yeah.
for that reason.
Nice.
Yeah. it was-
Clothing is well kept.
I bought a pair of jeans in Japan, and they told
Ooh,
me
the
never to
custom
wash
ones?
them.
Really? Never to wash them?
The way you wash them is like this very specific
Like
bathtub soak
Yeah.
in cold water, and you're only supposed to do it like 3 times over the life of the jeans.
Seriously?
Denim,
So you have to choose your
Oh, I'm
washings
stressed.
I know.
strategically?
That's their material, and these
Oh my
jeans are
God.
the most intense jean denim.
Have I even
material.
seen
They're
them?
Hard,
I'm
dark.
upset you're not wearing them.
What?
I'm upset you're not
I
wearing
know.
I
them.
know, right?
This would have been perfect.
I don't think I've
I
ever
wear 'em-
seen them.
Yeah, they're dark, and I roll them up because when you buy them, you have to really think about how they may shrink, because they do shrink a lot, like
Oh, a
by
lot.
3 sizes or something.
Oh, wow. So you have to get
trying
like
them
2
on.
sizes bigger.
Yeah, the waist was huge, and then after the first 2 soaks, it shrunk down.
But
Wait, so
only
you're
allowed
already
3?
2/3 of the way of the
Well,
washing.
you do the washing in the beginning, and then
Okay.
you just let them ride.
All right.
And there's such an intense.
So you're
steal
given 2
something.
washes.
Yeah.
You get 2 courtesy washes.
But I'm kind of more of like the Levi's broken in jean guy.
Yeah.
And so I don't really mind if I overwash them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
me
put them in the
neither.
washing machine, but I don't wear them to any like crazy.
How many times have you worn them since Japan?
Probably like, I don't know, tons.
I feel offended that I haven't been privileged enough to see you in these jeans. What the
They were
hell?
expensive jeans,
sound
but
like
someone said
special
you can never buy.
Yeah, I
You can never
guess.
buy Japanese denim is some of the
Yeah.
best.
You didn't even
Yeah,
wear
yeah, it has a cult following.
And the
Yeah.
maker stamped the inside of the jeans.
I
What?
love that.
You didn't even wear them for your birthday, your special birthday, when you had your bling on and everything.
Your birthday jeans.
Bring them out when I need
Wait,
to.
when you had your bling on, I need to hear this.
Oh yeah, the birthday bling. Oh, it's tucked away somewhere.
Tucked away somewhere, yeah.
It's a big old chain.
Dylan,
Like a
one of our
turnover chain?
designers, and Mary, I guess Dylan, this was all Dylan, went and got him this big, huge chain with like, did it say birthday something on it?
We
Fifth, I
surprised
think.
him on his birthday. He thought, and he maybe
He thought he
a
was
little
meeting
disappointed.
some-
He thought he was meeting like a prospect, like a prospective client, and it was just us.
It was just us at All Day Darling there to have a happy birthday breakfast.
You handled it well.
I think what comes to mind for me when I think of materials, and you guys may or may not know this about me, but when I was getting my BFA in design, in graphic design, my first 2 years were spent as an interior design student.
You mentioned that to me.
And so materials in that world was a big deal. You know, it was all about like you geeked out over materials because finishings and materials were like, yeah, that was like a big part of it. Yeah. And I still like geek out on that kind of stuff. I'm not too far away from it.
I have ordered a few pieces. Like we have a downstairs apartment in my home, and we have med students as kind of our pipeline to keep that downstairs apartment filled.
Nice.
And they come to Asheville and they don't want to bring a lot of furniture because they're just going right back to where they are in school in Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
And so we had to furnish the downstairs apartment quickly. It was a really small space. We were looking for things online, modular stuff you can take apart and put together again. But everywhere that you go look, they'll send you like 50 potential fabric swatches. So I probably have, because I was doing research, I probably have like over 100 little fabric swatches at my house, and I can't get rid of them for some
You
reason.
could make something with that.
That's how I feel. My family's like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, there's a use for this somewhere, resourceful, but
What comes to mind for you, Tim?
I just think of raw materials,
yeah.
like in their close to original state before they're made into anything.
Wait, say more.
Pure.
It's just the material. It's like the base layer,
Yeah.
the thing that could be something.
essence.
Like a giant wheel of copper.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I used
yeah.
to be a furniture repairman, and so
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
got
did.
a lot of material and parts, and I took apart a lot of made things. And so when you start to see it in pieces, you see how the thing is made, and the material, the wood and the fabric and the metal, it's just all like ore and animal and
Yeah.
plants.
Does it make you feel really capable when you start to look at just like the pieces that you took apart?
Yeah.
And get to remake
Yeah,
it?
and it's like the layers of, fabrication and creation. But for me, the material is like before it's something, the state.
2 other things come to mind, and I think you're involved in both of them. Herman Miller, New York, Remember they had the swashes? Oh my God, the leather swashes are so cool. And I think the gate let us take one.
Yeah.
I have one in my house somewhere, but we were at Herman Miller.
You don't just hold it constantly.
I know, right? Oh my
soft.
God, they had so many great like fabric materials for us to like play with. And then the other one is one of our clients, Center for Craft, has this whole like materials display for like textiles and stuff. And it's really cool. We've actually helped sort of design what that space looks like
The
to attract
experience and
people
the
to it.
wayfinding.
But the cool thing is you have all these little drawers and you open them up and you can like pull really tactile, tangible things and play with them and feel them. And it's so cool when you like have it at that level before it's made into art, before it's kind of like what you were saying, it's at its essence before you take it and make it something else.
And the idea that you can take that and rather than trying to hide it under a bunch of other things, my favorite designs, I think, are the ones that really celebrate that and like shine a light on it. So cool. Is there anything that drives you crazy about this word?
Cheap materials like polyester and synthetic stuff. Yeah, stuff that like doesn't let your skin breathe and stuff that looks cheap. Pleather, like frick, like cars, like what was I? We were just talking about their whole movie theater I used to love going to. They had all these like really nice, seemingly nice like theater chairs put in, and now the pleather is like peeling off of them, and I don't want to go there anymore because it's kind of gross.
Yeah. It just, like the durability is just not
Yeah,
there.
just not there. It goes back to what Kat was saying. It's like the quality of materials.
It does make me, somehow I do make the jump from materials to like fast fashion.
Yeah.
And it does make me think of like the beaches full of disposable material too. Like it does have like that
Yeah.
that impact on nature feel to me. Because like when I was talking about like wanting to be a cobbler or wanting to, like I do love a good material, but like you can repurpose material. Good material lasts a long time. If it was like carefully and thoughtfully made, it could have hundreds of years of life. But the fast fabric world, and I don't know if y'all have seen there's a ton of documentaries about stuff like this.
Big deal.
And, yeah.
I think Patagonia started that re-wear, or the what's the name? I can't remember, but you can bring in your old Patagonia and then it can go to someone else.
Oh, that's
Because of the
cool.
material being a high-grade material.
Are they the ones where you can buy the old ones on
Yeah.
like they have? Yeah, there's a
It's a
lot of
whole
companies that are
market,
doing that.
Right,
Yeah.
of the used materials.
It was Patagonia that I first learned that certain jackets were made from like crude oil, or there's some kind of material that's made from like crude oil. And Patagonia was like, no, we're not going to do that because that's going to end up in our environment somewhere and it's not a good thing. But I can't remember. It was like a really popular like jacket style or something that,
Like a puffer jacket? I could see
I
the
don't know,
nylon.
maybe it was puffer jackets, but it was something that Patagonia was known for having in their lineup that they made that was better than everybody else's because it wasn't made from crap, basically.
Yeah, I lived through the 90s when materials took a dive. You know, countertops were made of plastic.
Oh yeah, Formica.
Tupperware came out and
Tupperware. Oh my God, you remember
God.
But that stuff is still around.
I know.
It's still
but here's
around
the
and it
thing.
still has pasta stains.
Yeah. Well, and slowly poisoning us. Like
just-
microplastics.
I
Leaching.
still have to sign my life away to borrow Tupperware from my mother-in-law.
Well, they come in these
Don't
sets.
take it home.
Yeah, you
Bring
buy a
the
set.
No. Like I have to leave my child. Yeah.
Collateral for the
There has to
Tupperware.
be collateral because if that Tupperware does not come back with the lid,
Yeah.
With the right
Very
lid.
important.
Exactly.
I'm
That's not my
I'm
lid.
not trying to start something.
I just feel like in modern aesthetic, you feature the material in its materiality. You don't try and make something look concrete if it's not concrete.
Yeah.
You don't try to make something look like wood. I used to lay floors just out of high school right when I got married, and this new type of floor called Pergo, which was a floating floor.
Oh.
And it would just bother me so much to have to install this stuff because it was basically plastic, maybe a thin
like
layer
cardboard?
of wood, plastic, cardboard. rubber, and then it lays on this foam.
Yeah.
And it's like you're walking on this what looks like a wood floor, and they say it's you can't destroy it. It's like the most durable thing. They're preaching all this, trying to sell it. But you walk on it and it feels hollow, literally. Like it's like air under it, like you can tap on it like a little drum.
That sounds awesome.
And
I'm sorry.
but you're,
Let's get your house painted before we redo your floors, Reggie. Let's start with one.
See, the materials there too.
Lord,
it just
floating
feels
on
like
there.
you're walking on this floating surface, and it was called a floating floor. And I was so bothered by that as like a 20-year-old, 19-year-old. And I think the material could be what it is. And I think when we feature material in its beauty, I think they do this in Japan. They feature mistakes in material, imprints, the record of life. Like if you have a top that's made of marble, the scars it takes, how it's affected by us living around it. That to me is the magic of material. But when you start to make it something that's perfect and fake, then it drives me insane.
You're like, I'm
to
outta
see
here.
fake material.
Everybody
Cut
has
the
a
Tim
burp.
story,
Now's the time to do it because he's going to cut this up.
I was thinking as you were speaking, and everything's going to be about Japan for a couple weeks. I'm so sorry.
As it should be.
It really was a humbling experience to go to a nation that clearly everybody believes that things are going to get better. They're like, I'm going to try. I'm going to try.
Yeah.
What do you think? But
We're all collectively trying, and there's
yeah.
progress.
I hope so. That they really seem to be in relationship with material. It's not, and fast fashion takes me there too. I heard this woman online talking about, she's actually writing academic papers about domesticating pieces of clothing. Like you get a new piece of clothing and you bring it into your wardrobe and it's sort of foreign for a minute. You don't know how to style it.
Oh, yeah,
You're trying to
yeah.
figure out how it works with all the other things, and you
Oh, I
have
could
to sort
totally see
of
that.
get it out and try it in a few places, and then it becomes part of your life and it can cohabitate. And
Becomes familiar.
right.
Yeah.
And I think there's something about bringing any sort of, I'm going to say the word living, although I guess we don't think of raw wood as living or fiber in material for clothing as living, but I see it that way, derived from something that is of the earth and was alive. I think there's some religious or spiritual connection to that stuff if you choose to walk that path.
Yeah, there was someone that said, "Do you believe material can hold emotion?"
Absolutely,
and they
I
said
do.
no. And he like says, "Do you keep things that your kids draw?" And he's like, "Why do you keep that?" "Because they put love into it." And you're like, "That's the point."
That's the point.
My mom's sister, her name's Donna, became a weaver sort of late in life. You've got seamstresses and all this. This is my only claim to fame is Donna. Thank God you're here. She, after a very long corporate career in curriculum design, she did one of those, I'm quitting, I'm blowing my life up.
Total
I'm going to
pivots.
pursue what I've always wanted to pursue. I think her undergraduate degree was in something like textile arts or
Underwater basket weaving.
something similar, yeah.
Classic.
And
Classic.
I think she did have there was a business angle that she just never pursued, but she bought a huge loom. My family moved it into her
Nice.
she lives in Micaville, North Carolina.
Love
and
that.
she just started weaving and she started taking classes, and she describes her relationship with, she calls it fiber. She doesn't call it, thread or whatever other types of materials she could be using. She doesn't refer to it by the process name. She refers to it as fiber, and she sees it as derived from a plant. She's like following mentally back to its original source state, and she's so interested in how to create better weaving material from living things, plants, and she spoke to me about the meditative state that she gets into when she's weaving. You're taking the shuttle across, and it's just this repetitive motion that you're doing over and over and over again. And she said, I can tell how I was feeling when I was weaving based on the product that comes off the loom.
Oh, I believe that.
And she said, I think everyone can feel the maker in a piece of craft like that if it was really handmade by another human. And I wholeheartedly believe that.
And I don't think we're holding on to that as a reality, because our materials are so, we take material for granted in our culture.
I think we absolutely do.
I asked my little niece, we were at a family thing, and she was doing her knitting, crocheting, I don't know what it is. She had
Two needles or one needle?
2 needles.
Knitting.
Yarn. She was knitting. She was making this circle of some cool design, and I was asking her what it was. She didn't know yet. And I said, if you charge someone $10 an hour to make this, because she's made herself a sweater, how much would it cost them?
So expensive.
And she's like, $1,000. And I was like, imagine how much we miss on the value of material, on what it takes to make a pair of jeans or a sweater or a shirt or a blanket or a backpack. But we just have these things like fast fashion. They're so readily available and cheapened to the point of like 50% off, clearance sale.
Yeah.
Like that's
I
easy.
love a deal.
Yeah.
I do too, but like imagine having that deal so often in your, it's kind of like food as well. Like you go to the grocery store and you get something that's made in another season, in another place, flown in and ripened, and it's there at your disposal, but you don't realize that that food comes out of a system or a rhythm or pain, like a suffering someone has done to bring that to you or to make something for you. And so the materials, it's, if we truly owned material or thought about where material would come, even to take down a tree, if anyone's chopped down a tree,
Oh my gosh.
just chopping it down and getting it off your land is enough work to ruin anyone's back.
Oh,
But
yeah.
now imagine planing it and running it through the mill and getting it to a point where it can make you a table. You know, like if someone, and you make a table and it's like, your dad made this table.
Oh yeah.
It's way different.
We're using Uncle Curl's tray over there. Like,
Oh yeah, it's a
There's heritage.
Somebody
in that.
has attachment to that.
Totally.
What if it doesn't speak to you the same way as it did to your parents?
Right. If it's stylistically off.
Because generationally, we're right there, right? Like the boomer generation was a generation of gathering, of collecting, of and some of this stuff is
meant
really
stuff
well
something.
made, and like it was like symbols of what they had accomplished. I don't want it all.
Like some oak.
I'm gonna
dated
openly say that I don't
into it.
want it
80s
all.
oak table that's got the
Which
spindle
could
chairs.
be beautifully made with wonderful material, and it needs no part of my home.
right.
Like it's,
Right.
I don't need China.
Right.
And it's so hard to have that conversation about, hey, I want to honor this. I'm not at all trying to downplay what this is. And also, you can't force feed me this.
The Swedish Art of Death Cleaning. Have you read it?
No.
Maybe I need to
So
give it
I
to my
do.
parents.
Okay, I do love a good organizing system and method, and it's kind of a thing I follow a lot of them. I don't believe that any one of them is better than the other, but you know, like Marie Kondo came to mind when you were talking about like the quality of something. Feng Shui comes to mind when you're talking about the relationship of you and material, or people and material, and the space they're in. I do believe your space affects your life.
Absolutely.
Which also means I don't want your curio cabinet of china that I like. It's just not functional for me anymore. As a I like function, I like form, I like it as a combo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same.
But are you sure you'll never like it?
Am I sure I'll never like it? No, I have no idea who I'm going to be in 5 minutes.
It just means
so-
you have to keep it in the garage or
know,
somewhere
so I
until you're
don't.
ready for
No,
it.
I don't. I refuse
Or until
to.
my house is big enough for all this huge antique furniture from a time gone by.
The stress and the cost of keeping things.
Oh my gosh.
Until you may or may
just-
not be ready.
We just spring cleaned our garage maybe a couple months ago now. But we've been in this house since 2019, and the garage was just filled with stuff that I hoped we'd get around to using or whatever. And there's nothing more freeing than making a on-the-spot decision of the value of something and then letting it go.
You love
Put it into a big dumpster or putting it in the car to take to Goodwill. And now my wife can park in our garage for the first time in 6 years that we've been living there.
Oh man.
So it felt really good to
anybody
let go of stuff like
Got
that.
something you're still holding on to? Anything that comes to mind? You're like, this is the thing that I can't let go of yet.
I don't think so after
I'm
that
a minimalist,
process.
so
I'm a notorious letter goer.
I
like to a fault.
I get criticized for this in
Yes.
my family. Yeah.
For throwing things away and getting rid of stuff.
Yes.
Did it come out of reading this book you mentioned?
No, but it
It was
I'm
justification.
Sure, okay, like, I mean, I'm 100% sure our relationship, I shouldn't have tapped that, but I'm 100% sure our relationship with stuff is intergenerational, right? It's multi-generational.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yes,
It's often like, it's trauma of some sort or impact of some sort from whatever my parents lived and whatever their parents lived and and all the stuff. So I do know like my dad has a thing with stuff. Like he like more is more. So growing up with more is more means I don't want that. Like I don't need 10 watches.
Clutter.
I need one. Really nice one that I like that I wear all the time and that's all I want. And so I want less. So then it did get me into that idea of like, what does this mean? Like, what is this? So I started reading like different books and the theory behind it. And, you know, like, and our stuff impacts us. And when we have too much of it, we don't know what to do.
don't even
and it
appreciate
gets in our
it.
way. And I actually made our whole household go through I can't believe I'm divulging this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is the
Yeah, I made our whole house go through the Marie Kondo method because I was so curious.
Does it spark joy?
Like, does it spark joy? And I absolutely had like a 5 or 6 year old at the time that I made her go through her wardrobe.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the steps we took. I spent a whole weekend with her, but after she decided what she wanted to keep, we never fought in the mornings.
Oh, that's
Because
awesome.
every article of she was an epic dresser. Like I had to let go of my idea of what she should look like.
Yeah.
Much earlier than most do.
Independent. I love it.
And so but we no longer had to fight, and the only rule was it has to be weather appropriate, and then everything else you get to decide. And like
That's a
as
good rule.
epic as some of these outfits were, I now miss them.
Yeah.
But we didn't have to fight. I didn't have to make her wear the thing that she hated.
Right.
Because
She chose it.
She
chose
chose everything in her closet, and it all sparked joy.
Why were you embarrassed to say Marie Kondo?
Because it was a thing. Like that was a time.
moment.
It was a moment in time.
Has it
that,
passed?
like,
Oh yeah, people give you heat for mentioning her name.
And yet I
Well,
did
we-
watch.
You
read.
I watched the whole Netflix series
Of
when she was
course.
doing it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You mean, that's early on, but now she had kids, and she's come out apologizing to people for putting so much pressure on
Yes.
them to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard this. I
perfect.
heard that she
But
ended
people were
up.
giving her a lot of heat. They're like, "Why would you fold a shirt that way?"
Right.
You know, like,
well, why wouldn't you?
But in Japan,
why wouldn't you? It's perfect. You do it.
Yeah.
I still fold
I still
that.
do
Yeah,
it
in
too.
half
It
and
works
stack
in the
them.
drawer. It's functional.
And then I
It's
pull
better
out
in
my
the
drawer
Like
and I can
folding towels in thirds instead of in half, which doesn't seem to
well,
work
it
in
does
any
take
system.
a little longer when you're doing laundry,
Totally.
which in a lot of households is like a contentious.
This is why I
thing to
fold
begin with.
all of my wife's clothes, because I'm the one that really finds value in having it be organized and uniform, as opposed to just throwing them in the drawers.
You are inevitably coupled up with someone who is the opposite.
I know, right? That's
who we
exactly
are,
right.
right? Like,
Which
my
is
husband
why we
cannot-
know our lane, and we are the ones that are doing the
The
folding.
laundry alone, I will take care of
Yeah.
it. He cannot fold 2 towels that are exactly the same in the same way in a row. Like that's just not going to happen.
I can't either, but it's not my fault. My mom was left-handed, and I'm right-handed, so I fold both ways now accidentally.
Oh, how funny.
Seriously,
That's
it
fun.
bothers me because I'm a perfectionist, and I fold a towel, and I'm like, damn it.
Damn it, why did I do that?
And then I fold it again. I'm like, damn it, it's the other way. I don't even know what way it's supposed to go. Shirts, the same thing. Underwear, all of it. It's like one side, the other.
But before we get too far away from it, I wanted to bring up that I think clutter, I mean, it's easy to look at someone's space and see clutter. And you're just like, oh my God, how do you live like that? But I think about my mother-in-law who has all of this stuff around her, and every single part has some kind of sentimental value.
It does bring her joy.
Yeah, and while I see it, I'm like, oh, I could never live that way. I understand that it's the only way she can live, because being surrounded by these things that bring memories back into her life of her husband that passed away, and all these things are what sustains her. And so it's helped me have an appreciation for people's stuff that I don't understand.
They're hints, right? Like they tell you very quickly what that person values.
Yeah.
Like if I come into, you know, I worked in a very large organization where everybody had their little office or cubicle, and I could walk up to somebody and go to accounting because I needed to ask a question. And if their little cubicle had all these pictures and tchotchkes and knickknacks, I immediately knew, like, I should be asking you about your family and your pets and your grandkids, because all of these things are telling me that about you.
That these things are important.
Right.
Yeah.
So that you're leading with this information, and what I value in my home is not and should not be the same as what everyone else values in their home.
I just feel like shows like
just
Trading
want less stuff.
Spaces.
Oh man, I used to love that show.
I know
hate
everyone.
Trading Spaces.
Well, everyone loved it at the beginning, and then we
HGTV,
saw behind the curtain, and
One
it's
of my
like
friends
bad.
in Asheville was on that show.
Right,
And
and
it
so-
didn't go well for them. They
about
did
bad
not like what the
materials?
people did.
Oh yeah, bad materials. But then you also
And
Magnolia.
Oh yeah, what's her name?
face?
And the husband
Chip
and
and
wife.
Joanna.
Chip and Joanna.
Yeah, yeah.
So these
Yeah,
shows,
shiplap, yes.
They've promoted, Shiplap, the Shiplap show.
Oh, but her warehouse. Have you ever seen where she goes to style
yeah,
a home?
absolutely.
And she's surrounded by.
She is also a genius.
Yeah, I
It
think
is.
she is a
But
genius.
what I feel about that is it's put on. It's all put on. Like you walk into anyone's styled, designed home, and it looks like a set.
Yeah.
And I don't get any personal story in it. I just see
Well, you
someone
know
who's
that person's
putting on.
private.
Yeah, maybe they're
That person
private.
cares about aesthetics.
But my
Yeah,
mom
or they're
loves it, and
embarrassed
she's
about
not
their
well,
own.
she puts a lot of pictures up. But I just get, and the more money you have, there's the greater the ability to design it the way you want it. Order a couch from wherever you want.
And the more money you have, the less stuff you have. Isn't that interesting? Like well, to some degree, it seems like a lot of people, as they get more money, they do have more of a minimalist approach. Things are
I hear more money, more problems.
But less stuff.
I hear more money, more opportunity to outsource. Like, I don't know that the people who have, you've seen like the Architectural Digest interviews.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember the one, it kind of, in my circles was really
Love
funny.
AD.
Dakota Johnson was giving a tour and somebody had come in and prepped her home for this interview.
Oh yeah, of course.
And there was just a bowl of limes, and I think it caught
Was
her
she-
off guard
was
how
she
many
like, "What the
limes
hell
were
is
in
that?"
her kitchen. She was like, and this is my bowl of limes. And you're in the moment, and you're being
awesome.
interviewed, and you're like, what does this bowl of limes
Like,
say
who put
about
that there?
Not to me.
That's not mine.
So it feels like that to me. Like people are
Yeah.
giving up that part of their
It's
lives
staged,
because they
totally.
don't see it as valuable, or maybe they think somebody else's taste is more important in that moment than their own. But I don't know.
No, I could see that. There's this level of artificiality that
Yeah.
There's
is in that world.
Yeah, there was an interview with the founder of Telegram, who's worth $15 billion, and he just admitted on the interview that he doesn't own anything.
What?
He has no land. He has no real estate.
Oh,
he has no
yeah.
jets. He has no
Yeah.
cars. He says, my number one goal is to be happy and free,
He's all
Yeah.
liquid.
and everything that you own is one layer of heaviness that you can't get away from.
Yeah, it's
Heaviness.
anchoring you down into place.
Right, and I was like, oh my goodness, these assets that we hold,
Yeah.
these.
But are they roots?
I was going the same
I don't
place.
know. This guy's he's not from America. Where is it? Romania, I
Romania.
think. I can't remember. Yeah.
But my
It's a
family
totally different culture.
holds,
upbringing.
I completely connect with the thing you said about intergenerational relationship with material and things and trauma. And I'm from this area, from Appalachia. There is a lot of discussion within my family about who holds what land, because we feel this need to like stake a claim and like be present so that it doesn't get taken from us
Ownership.
in a way.
It's even the fallacy that we think we can own land.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
That
even
land
think
is ownable.
I don't think it's that we want to own land. I mean, probably some of us. It's more just that we want access to the land. And if you don't own the land, you are
don't have
not
access.
guaranteed that access.
Yeah, that's a good.
Do we want to share it though? Because you can have access. Many people can have access to the same land, like public parks and
But there
national
are
forests.
rules of engagement, right? Like, I'm happy to share the land provided that everybody's treating it with respect and cleaning up after themselves and contributing to its upkeep and that kind of thing.
I grew up in the South too, and more times than not, for me, it was get off my fucking land.
All the time.
And it had a gun involved. It wasn't like access. It was more like
He's rolling
I
up to
have-
fix your couch.
I have dogs protecting it.
Yeah.
As a Costa Rican,
Yeah.
I have a hard time understanding that. That's still like one of the things that I'm getting used to. And I grew up in the US too. But like, we have no army. We are not.
We're not a militant.
We are not that.
Culture.
Like, I would go knock on the ladies. I mean, I wouldn't even knock. Like, if I'm in my mom's town, I'd be like, oh, look, that tree has really good mangoes. Like, if it's in the front of the house, I might like knock and be like, hey, can I, steal one? But if I, as a child running around with my cousins, we're not knocking on the door. We're just climbing the tree and enjoying the mango.
Right.
You know why? Well, my opinion of why is I think that there's a scarcity in America, and people feel like they don't have enough. They don't have enough food or land or space, and I think in Costa Rica, from what I know, a friend of mine owns like 100 acres or something over there. It's an abundant land. The trees, the mango tree will produce so many mangoes. Everyone in the community could take mangoes and it would still have mangoes on it.
That's awesome.
Like, we don't understand how infinite.
I don't know. I don't know.
His land is, but he's up in the mountains, so he's not down in the city. I'm not sure what the
And he owns a bunch of land that he's protecting.
Well, I mean, he is protecting it, but it's a jungle, so he's got chocolate trees and
Cacao trees.
Well, what comes
Chocolate
to
trees. I
mind,
like chocolate trees.
What comes to mind for me is that like as we're talking about the many generations, like there is some amount of like, colonialism and ownership, and like we wanted to
We
come
always
in.
come back to this eventually.
I know.
I mean,
it's made its way into our...
It informs who we are, right?
Yeah.
Like I have a. So like, is that what that is? Like, is it?
I think so.
Is it maybe just like I'm protecting the thing I came in to put a stake of claim on, and then people who are naturally from this land don't see it as ownership. They see it as the tree offered mangoes and we climb it and get it, right? Like it is, like that part of my family absolutely has indigenous roots. So like, I know they don't see land in the same way. And my generation does.
Yeah.
Like we have the thing about the grandparents' house, and I come from a giant family. It's like my mom's one of 12. So there's like 12 sisters trying to decide what they're doing with one piece of land.
Yeah.
It has changed 10 times in the last 20 years.
Too.
And every time I'm asked about it, I'm like, just leave me out of it. Like, I don't want to have this discussion or argument or relationship with my family. But I do think that what we're experiencing is from that colonialism, is from that stake of claim in land that is really not ours or theirs or anybody's.
It's nobody's.
And that like, there is that shift in Costa Rica too of people coming in and buying up land. And then like, I need to protect this. And people from this area can't like, I had to leave the town I was in. My mom is from an area called Guanacaste. I had to leave the town I was in to find tortillas last time I went.
Oh, wow. You're like, what the hell?
Stuff.
Where am I?
Like, excuse me. Like, I had to like go past like a, like a French bakery and like a preppery and like something else to leave the town to just find a flippin' tortilla. Like,
That's crazy.
So maybe that's where it comes from, then the stealing
And you
of
talk-
land and the...
You talk about, national forests and access and everybody having space there, but didn't Pisgah get established because the Vanderbilts moved down here and acquired a ton of land and then gave it to the government?
I didn't know that.
So if somebody didn't come down and stake a claim, I'm not saying that this is right or the way that it ought to be, but I'm saying in America, that has been the tradition. And
that is what conservation was.
I don't know how we get out of this cycle now, but...
I have a different perspective about the land thing. So like me, I grew up really poor on my grandmother's retired teacher's pension. And we had a house that was maybe, God, that house was, as I think about it now and I've driven back by and looked at it, it maybe was like 800 square feet, like tiny, tiny house. And I now own a house that's like almost 4,000 square feet on an acre of land. And so there's with a pool and a basketball court. And there is a, there's something in it for me. Like there is this sense of like, I came from here and now I'm here.
Absolutely.
And it's something that I like revel in to some degree. And I also share it. Like it's not mine, it's mine. So there's this sense of ownership and pride, but it's also because I am so generous. It's not worth anything if I can't share it with anyone. And
But isn't that the American dream, to own? a house and land.
Totally. I
What
think
we
that's
were
part of
raised
it.
to want
And growing
somewhere.
up in an environment where I thought I didn't know if I would even have that because of like,
So try to
Possibilities.
imagine not having that as an expectation of a successful life.
yeah.
That's just what we're trained to want. So now
It is what we're
now
trained
if
to
you
want.
don't have a home, you're like,
Yeah.
what are you doing with your life? Like,
Everyone wants a home base, so like,
I'm
everyone
I'm not
wants-
sure.
I will say-
There's a nomadic people that have always been around.
And I will say this too, now having been a homeowner and knowing how much it costs to maintain a home, me and one of my best friends back in St. Louis have this saying, NBAH, and it's never buy a house because it's
Yeah.
like, $30,000 French drain, all the things that you can continue to put money into. And then it makes me think of all the beautiful places I've rented from the time I left home to the time I bought a home, and how all I had to do was call somebody and say, yeah, dishwasher broke. And then
But
2 days later, a new dishwasher gets installed.
this to me brings up this huge issue, in my view, around stewardship. And you don't have to have individual people owning it until something breaks, and someone has to take accountability
Of why,
to
yeah.
repair that or to care for the materials in that place. And I have this sense, maybe we're just jaded because we don't own things, but as a renter, I see people just kind of like, it's not great, I don't care. That's the landlord's problem. And I understand that mentality, and in fact, I kind of support it in this climate, especially if the rent is so high, it sort of seems like there should be some service and support provided in that. But how do you get out of this mindset of we have to own and control everything, and yet also still maintain these wonderful public works or services that we want to have?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. But I do feel like once we turned homes into assets of investment, we took away the essential need for someone to have a home,
Yeah,
a shelter.
exactly.
We
'Cause
made
people are
it.
buying it all up as investments.
Why are homes valuable? Why are diamonds valuable?
And why are there
is a
people that
Ferrari
can't
valuable?
buy a house, yet there's people that have 5 or 6 houses?
Right, exactly, because we make them scarce.
Yeah.
So when you take an asset that is essential to life, part of your needs as a human, and you make it something that now you have to work your entire day and night for,
Yeah.
to own and take care of,
Yeah.
I think we've removed the intrinsic value of what a home is, and turned it into this asset. And I think that that's ruining our sense of home. And you could be at home in an apartment or in a tent or in some kind of RV or in an Airbnb. There are lots of places to feel at home.
Yeah.
But when we turn everything into an item of value, it becomes the wealthy's.
Becomes something
Property.
different.
So yeah, like you pick your materials based on maybe resale value versus your preference.
Exactly.
And a home is literally just a
hurt when you
collection
hear
of
that.
materials. That's exactly right.
Right, and then people take these homes and they, paint the walls gray and
Yep.
put the same cabinets in and
Yeah.
put a really durable
White cabinets.
countertop. Yeah, and
Pergo floors.
Me, when it's like you're planning your
he
house
hates
for
Pergo.
the next
No, I know.
person
Oh,
who's
yeah.
That was
anti-Pergo.
that's why it's hard for me to rent.
But like the idea that you're not going to make any choices about your home that you are occupying for whatever extended period of time, you're not going to put forth or assert your own expression into the home because you're preparing already to let it go. You're
Yeah.
preparing for
That's
whatever
true.
comes next.
Yeah, that's right.
It just feels like being in a
attachment.
relationship and being like, well, this isn't going anywhere. So
It's
I'll
like a
just,
rebound.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yet,
It's like,
yet
you're not putting
when
any
you're
emotion
making
in.
those decisions, a term that drives me crazy is I bought my forever home. Girl, how do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know what happens tomorrow? It's not your forever home until you have been there forever.
Yeah.
Right.
But the forever home is then designed in a very particular way.
Yeah. I think everybody should have license to change their living space in any way that they want to. However, this concept of, I'm going to be here until I die, I just can't. My parents lost their house in Helene and they just finished sort of renovating and rebuilding with a ton of assistance from a lot of different nonprofits. And the whole time they were doing it, I was questioning it. I was like, is this my
Is this
parents
the
are in
right
their
move?
60s?
Yeah.
Is this how you want to spend this chapter of your life? Is this the mode that you want to be in? And I was really asking questions about do you want to just go live in an RV and travel, or do
And
you?
they were like, shut the hell up. We're your parents.
I think, oh yeah, but I think there was this sense of like, no, this is our place. This is where we belong, and so
Yeah.
either we're gonna build.
How can
a
you
new
not
house-
rebuild?
Yeah, is how it felt.
I feel like we're going to experience a major shift because I don't know that the next generation values materiality. I think their life is in the digital frame. I talked to my son and I was asking him like what he wants in his house or in his life. And he says, I think if I just had like a room with a bed and I had my computer, I think I'd be fine. I'm like, oh my
wow.
goodness, this is what turns it. They spend so much time, and listen to this, Google names their design system materials.
What?
Oh, really?
Material system, yeah. And it's the digital space, the material in the digital space.
Interesting.
He buys skins for his gun and his game, which is a material added to his design, added to his gun. It's like trading spaces. They paint the walls or put wallpaper on. He puts wallpaper on his gun.
Yeah.
And so when the time is spent in that abstract space,
In that world.
the material in that world becomes more valuable than material in your physical world.
And
I think you're
what
right
age?
for that generation
17.
for sure.
Right. Okay. And this goes as young as like 6.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Animal Crossing.
And my kids with
Roblox and-
Roblox,
Roblox
and
and-
also Minecraft.
Ah.
Minecraft
you
materials.
get all your
I
materials.
wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, no, that's a reality.
But I think we as
You're right.
adults in our generation, we don't value digital materials the same way. I think in
We
our,
definitely don't
I think in
value
our
it.
industry we do, because when someone looks at a website, they're looking at the materials of the
Yeah.
website. They're looking at like
Well, and we're attuned to that.
Yeah, but we're not
feel a
paying.
difference.
And the
we're not
materials-
paying a premium price for this type of or pattern versus another when we're doing a website.
pay more for a
But
piece
in
of
that world,
graphic
you
art.
are.
But if an artist makes the background of a
Yeah.
design,
If
or
I know that a person made it,
Maybe.
but what if AI made it?
Oh, you can tell.
What if AI can make
now.
the fabrics your jeans?
and I think it will.
AI did
I'm not ready
make
for
it.
that.
Yeah, what
I'm not
if?
ready for
by
that
this.
either.
Does it devalue it? Because right now you have, machines, some type of maybe more clunky of a machine making clothes.
Yeah,
cutting
fabricated,
clothes.
like mass produced.
But a human touched these. I can tell you for a fact that a human touched these.
There's not enough
It's
technology
not,
yet.
Yeah,
to
we're
push
just
it
not
through.
there.
Yeah.
I don't mean to harvest the materials, at least.
Yeah.
At the
or to
very
like
least,
transition it
yeah.
from one machine
it
to
from
the other
a-
machine.
It's got dark.
Yeah.
This
I mean, but
It's got dark.
Your son is young. And
I was gonna say,
think
do they
there's-
grow out of it? Do you think he'll still have the same frame of mind when he's in his like late 20s?
And add to this, as you answer, consider that I think when I moved to New York, I had a similar point of view. I was like, I don't need much. I'll be at work most of the time anyway. That's why I moved here. Your space does change your psyche. I
Yeah.
think what you surround yourself with does have an impact on
does.
your
It
emotional
absolutely
state.
does.
Sorry, Will, I just bonked my microphone. So I wonder if he will find out through the attempt to live out that life path that he actually doesn't.
You also haven't lived long enough with a thing, right? Like, like
It hasn't held memories for you
it
yet.
hasn't quite held memories for you yet.
And I can tell you, when he meets someone that he wants to spend the rest of his life with, and they're like, take me back to your place, like, yeah, check out my room with my computer and my bed.
mattress on
And
the
they're
bed,
going to be
on the
like,
floor.
that's when the change happens. Revolution.
And he's grown up with parents who I think you and Megan put a lot of stock in that. You care about the environment in which you live. And so
he's
he's probably
revolting.
accidentally
Yeah,
revolting.
it's probably a
It's
little
like,
rebellion.
it's too much.
Oh, I'm into this now.
He's like, forget all your stuff and all your control and your expectations of design.
What if we had to what if we hit a big reset button and we said, all right, anybody can have a home, but here's your plot of land. You have to harvest the dead trees on the land or the trees that aren't going to survive, and you have to build your home from these trees, and you have to make your textiles from the stuff that's growing.
You're a
in the-
homesteader now.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a homesteader.
Like,
And
yeah,
isn't there
like
the
you
book-
have to
what's
build
that book
it
he
based
wrote?
on what you have available.
There's an author that went out and built a house by a lake.
That's,
Is it
I don't know that one.
Or is it?
that's why being a cobbler is my end
an
of
old book,
days
it's famous.
plan.
Yeah, because you can actually, it makes me think about when I was the creative director for Warren Wilson College, at one point I was photographing they had I guess it was fabrics or textiles. They had a class where they had looms and stuff. So they were making Right, there it is. So they were making,
Fiber.
it was fiber.
It's
It's
just
a
fiber,
class.
baby.
Yeah. And so they were actually using things that they were growing on the farm at Warren Wilson College to dye those
Yarrow and indigo.
It was absolutely amazing to like really come down to that level, and it gave me this like immense appreciation for what the outcome was, because I saw how much had gone into it, much to like what you were saying before. It's like, if you know how much time is spent and how much pain people go through to like make this thing happen, and then you're holding it in your hand. And that was my whole process. Like I saw from start to finish, like where the dyes were coming from, where the materials were coming from, how they spun them and did all these amazing things. And then I'm holding a piece in my hand and I'm like, this has so much more meaning and weight than if I just walked in off the street and just picked it up, you know?
Not everyone cares about process.
Oh man, I love process.
I mean,
That's
That's because you don't have to care.
yeah, it's exactly
You can
right.
go buy anything for a cheap price and no
Anywhere,
process
anytime.
involved.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
do think that leads to a life that is lacking gratitude
Yeah.
because you
And
have
depth.
you have so much. We don't even comprehend what we have anymore. The level of access we have to everything.
Yeah.
All the time.
Right, and these things would have been the property of a really wealthy king in one point in history, and now we have it and we want more,
Yeah, variety.
or we want different. Like it's not always about more. Sometimes my father-in-law says, "Happy is the man who wants what he has."
Yeah,
And,
I like that.
And I think that just because someone doesn't have a lot of stuff doesn't mean they're happy with minimal amount of stuff.
Did he say that when you were a kid and anytime you asked for something? Can you buy me one of these? Happy as the man who wants what he has.
No, unfortunately, I met him when I was older, and I had to learn the lesson later in life. But I do think that there is like a gratitude in something that you know was hard to make.
Yeah.
Like a potter throwing a pot.
Oh, yeah.
You see one at Target for $10, and a potter throwing a pot is such, like when my wife bought a Melissa Weiss mug, she's a local potter. She pulls
she's
her own
so
clay out of
good.
the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like a couple
work is
$100 for a
amazing.
mug, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, what? You paid what for that mug?
Yeah.
And there's just,
Precious.
okay, but I want to throw a wrench into this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, making something does give it more value.
yeah.
Sometimes you don't need to be the maker of something.
true.
And I say that like, okay, in a world of design and marketing, right? Like I've worked with large organizations, right? Inevitably, you're gonna have that person who taught themselves how to make a flyer. And now, and we're talking flyer, like we're not even talking big, but they spent 5 days trying to figure out how to make this. So there's a lot of value to them in this flyer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they
did that.
really want to stand behind the value of this flyer. This flyer is not branded. This flyer does not match our design standards. This flyer does not inform the user of what they need. And now
You're having to tell them
I'm
that
in a
it's not
world
good.
where I'm like, how do I tell you that is not the value you think it is without breaking your psyche? Because I do
Yeah.
care about that. I very early on caught on to this. And I was like, oh man, I have to break a little bit of what you just put your work and love and care into.
Yeah.
And I try to interrupt that early now. I try to be like, let
head
me
this
offer you
off.
help. I'm happy to help you with that. Don't you worry, you're not interrupting me.
Is it a junior designer or is it a client?
No, it's
Or a
client,
sales rep.
or a client or a sales
It's a
rep.
form and function thing, though, right? Like, there's nothing objectively wrong with the flyer until
yeah,
you
there is.
start.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Until you start.
There is. There's a bad way to make a flyer.
There's definitely a bad way to make a flyer, says the non-designer. in
I
the
think
panel.
that art and function should and can exist simultaneously, but they don't always. It's squares and rectangles, right? And we live in a world where design is paired with function. But if that flyer didn't need to achieve anything, it's not inherently wrong, but you need.
Why
the
would you
flyer
make
to
a
do
flyer if
certain
it didn't
things.
need to achieve anything?
Great.
Piece of
Good
art.
point.
An art flyer.
A flyer is not art.
But okay.
Oh, let's look. I think that makes it a
flyer-
possibility of
This
art.
flyer is not art.
I feel like this is the debate we had about social media, where you're like, well, why do you have to make a post? I'm like, maybe some people make a post for the joy and the love of, we're in it for the love of the game kind of thing. And I know that doesn't necessarily apply to this, but I'm just saying you are the champion of function in that moment. The reason that you're like, this won't work, aside from like, maybe it offends your sensibility and your sense of aesthetic, which is fair, but you are not the be all end all judge of what is good in the world. I'm sorry, Kat. In some
Oh,
ways,
Mary,
you are.
lay
Yes,
it down
but
a little bit.
Wow,
But I'm
Mary.
saying, like,
Whoa,
for
Mary.
the brand, you're advocating for a need that the brand has. They're like building it to spec. They're crafting it
Right.
instead of just like making.
You're worried about the bigger story, the bigger presence that we're talking about.
Sure, I mean,
And I will say, I've gotten softer over time. I've
Life's
softened over
wearing you
time.
down.
open to other
And there has been
possibilities.
like things that I'm like, you know what? That is not actually offending the brand. Go for it. It has limited viewership.
The scope of what you can destroy right now.
How
is-
many people are actually gonna see this? What? How much?
Man,
time?
if you have to
Still
judge a design, the first thing you think in your
Wow.
mind is, oh, how many people have to see this? That's not a good
Well,
sign.
I'm putting my judgy out there, right? Like
I do
it's
think
my
that if you find
discernment.
someone that makes a flyer for no reason,
Yeah.
we'll have a conversation.
Yeah.
Every flyer I've seen has a purpose.
It has a purpose. It
I
has
think,
to
like,
give
if-
certain
By
amount of
definition,
information.
has a purpose.
Right. If
Yeah.
you've ever seen an artist make a sofa and it looks cool,
Yeah.
then maybe it's made to look cool and that's cool.
Yeah.
But you don't want to sit on
It
that
may not be
chair or that
comfortable
sofa.
or it may not be meant
And
to be
so
sit
if
on.
the purpose
So many cool
is
couches.
to
Yeah.
be comfortable in a chair
Right.
or to be comfortable at the dinner table or to actually set plates on a table that doesn't wobble or fall over, then there is a good and bad
Yeah.
objectively
Absolutely.
perspective. And a flyer is, I know it's more nuanced and it's more elusive as to exactly how you get something to work a certain way, the purpose of it. And we've talked about this in brand. How do you quantify what works and what doesn't? And everyone thinks data can show you, but then someone will break the system and something that's never worked works all of a sudden. I had a friend who was
Staples baddie. Yep.
I had a friend who was doing Facebook ads, and he said, I don't see everyone's being very minimal in like these really short phrases and a picture. I'm just gonna do a long maximum word count post. And so he did this, and he got the most clicks he's ever gotten on any of his posts.
It's about being different. Yeah.
Yeah, so he stood out because of all these little minimal ads, and then his was like this just wall of text.
Oh, I'm stressed just hearing about
I
it.
know, and
I can't wait.
he had such a high success rate, and then everyone started copying that move.
Yeah.
And so I do think there's a place to break the mold. But there was a person that made a LinkedIn post about, listen, designers, you can do something different than what the typical UX standard is. And I think that's true. But you also have to
can break
suffer the consequence of it not working and not making sense.
And
right
that's where
away.
Cat comes in. Cat's like, hey, we're going to suffer. If we put this out, we will suffer. And there's
Yeah.
also a brand IP, like we're trying to stake out kind of this is what we're
Also,
about.
maybe it was ugly.
Yeah, maybe it's just
ugly.
Maybe it was ugly.
Or maybe
it
the
was
essential
really ugly.
information wasn't on and people don't know where to show up. Like they don't know what the date
Those
is.
are my favorite flyers.
ugly
where
is
they don't really tell you what to
say
do.
anything or
Ugly
like
is so
point you
subjective,
anywhere.
though. That's what's hard in this industry.
Yes.
Is that you can think something's ugly and someone else thinks it's fantastic. You know?
Well,
And how do you
it
convey
goes
that?
back to
Yeah.
that. They put their time and love and effort into making this material that they felt was appropriate for them. And there is such a thing about developing craft. There is such a thing as developing a better way of making materials. We talked about the quality of materials and the beauty of it. And I went to school a lot like Reggie in fine arts and then ended up as a graphic designer in that fine arts. But you still the quality of the materials you use does impact the outcome, right? If you keep buying that dollar store paint, it'll run after a while. And so how long did you want that painting to last? Or maybe it's not thick enough and now you have to put additives into it for the paint to move the way you want it to.
But don't you think it's wrong that we're judged because of the materials that we have in our lives? We can or can't afford, or taste, good or bad, ugly, nice, high-end, cheap. And we're judged as people, and everyone else in the world's judged by their material, the material they can surround their life with. Even though they're made with the same magic of living consciousness that we are, we've developed this frame of design around us that lets other people decide who we are, that lets other people feel free to decide who we are. They're pushing a buggy, they're a worse person, they failed at life. Oh, they're driving a Ferrari, they succeeded, they're someone we should be.
I just thought about this the other day, and this will kind of go back to one of the things we mentioned on another podcast with designer clothing. So my wife took my son shopping the other day at Walmart and he got all these clothes that he was so He had this one polo style shirt, and instead of like the Ralph Lauren polo, it had this like little guy on a horse that was like a different kind of style. And he loved it. Because he hasn't been ruined in that way. And it just made me brainwashed. Exactly. He made me think about when I was his age and all the kids were wearing polos and Izod, and if you had anything other, there was like Garanimals, you got laughed at if you had a hippo on your shirt or something. And I was just like, I love this. I love that he doesn't have to worry about that. And I'm hoping that culture has changed in the sense that maybe the kids are not as cruel as they used to be, and he comes in with his shirt on and they're not going to ruin it for him. He came back at the end of the day and he was still in a good mood. So I was like, yes. I was like, I did have this little bit of an oh shit moment, like, oh no, there's going to be some fucking mean kids in there. They're going to be like, that's not a real polo. But he apparently didn't have that experience.
Everyone interacts with brands differently, right?
That's true.
Because I also have
But everyone in public school gets made fun of for the same brands. Those are Walmart shoes.
But
I was that poor kid without
But
Nikes.
is the new generation like that? That's what I'm wondering. Has it changed?
I speak that language. And I also have the kid that's like, you make me wear a Lululemon and I will lose my stuff. I am not that person.
Yes.
And she has said, I'm not
basic.
that
Yeah,
person.
she's like, I'm not basic.
Literally like, ew, basic.
Yeah.
Like,
That's-
I am
that's
not
the
that
whole-
girl.
That's that whole frame, though, that expectation, judgment. I try to think about life and the essential parts of life in a certain time period. And I think about humans native to America, the ones that owned the land originally, or lived on the land. They didn't own it and they didn't think they could. But you imagine thinking in huts, living in huts with each other, families, communities together.
Generations.
Around a fire. And I'm thinking like, what was missing in that environment?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
We didn't have brands. They didn't have brands. They didn't have, maybe someone
definitely
did.
had trends.
They're like, that's my fur.
That's my fur.
That's Jimmy's fur over
Definitely
there.
had trends.
I bet they had trends. And
That's
also-
his moccasins.
That's an original
Well-
Jimmy right there.
Original
Jimmy does make the best ones. See,
That's
the
what I'm
thing.
trying
Actually,
to
it would be
say.
that's an original
probably would.
whispering in the wind. That's an original.
Y'all don't even know that you just described the first branding.
Oh
Yes,
wow.
That was them saying, oh, well, I like the way Jimmy makes his pelts.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
His
I could
cows.
buy pelts, I could do my own pelts, but I like the way Jimmy makes pelts. So
When
I'll
I take
just
the
give him some
trip,
corn.
when I
Yeah.
take the trip to that
Yeah.
other village, I'm gonna go ahead and get
Yeah.
the shoes from
They
Jimmy.
have the best
Yeah.
Because
shoes.
that person has their own
He
process.
took a
and they
certain
have,
different amount of care.
Have you ever been hunting in these shoes that Jimmy makes? They are so...
You gotta hold this bow.
My,
Ride this bow, man. I never miss.
we laugh at like going to my mom's town. I talk about this town a lot. It's like, you've read about the blue zone areas. It's one of those towns. And the book is completely wrong. They didn't get it. They didn't understand it. We can have a whole other one about that. But like the joke between my cousins and I and like going to this town. So the last time I remember going to this town, I went with my mom, my aunt, my cousin, and myself. There were 4 of us. We had to stop 10 times.
Yeah.
Between the ferry and the house where we're going. Why? Because
Materials.
we were picking up materials. Because so-and-so made the best tortillas. Still
Yep.
obsessed with those tortillas.
Yep.
Because so-and-so made the best cheese. Because so-and-so has the best mangoes. Because so-and-so has the best fill in the blank.
Yep.
And so by the time we got there, we literally started with a basket, an empty basket, and we kept gathering all the things, and we stopped by and said hi to people and got the things, and like, oh, I didn't know you made this. I want to try that too. And like, we get there and we had a basket full of like the best of whatever.
Everything.
The best of everything.
I don't
The
think
best
I don't think
meal.
it's in quotation marks. She had the best.
She had
The best meal
best
when
of
we got
everything.
there.
I
The
love it.
best meal.
No, that's
but like, you do
That's why it's a blue
start.
zone.
And that's, well,
That's why what?
probably,
That's why it's a blue zone.
probably so.
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
I do believe it's
the awareness
because of community.
Yeah, it's
and
the awareness of
because
gifts in the community.
Because of the way we share and gather. Like the last time I was back was for a funeral. The same cousin's dad passed away. And it was like, no one let us, like, we had no idea we were allowed to become the adults in this. And all of a sudden it was her job to like follow the traditions. And one of those traditions was, actually it's material based, right? Like we were supposed to create, or she was supposed to create this altar or place for the viewing at his house. And we're like, how do we even do this?
What do I do?
Her sister and I are looking on Pinterest, which was pretty ridiculous. But Veronica and I are like, look at this one.
That one. That one's a good one.
But community is where it happens.
Ancient
So then one of my aunts goes, I brought this fabric in case you needed it. I had it. It's often you start with fabric. And I was like, cool. And then they were like, your cousin has this really nice big rosary that would go well with it. And it's like wooden. So we stopped by her house and she's like, your aunt has. And then that's how we spent the day starting with, how are we gonna build this? And everybody, everywhere we stopped, we kept being told to stop at the next place. And we gathered all these materials, and it was the same thing we've always done our entire lives in that town.
Beautiful.
And we realized it. And the minute we had gathered all our stuff and all our materials, and okay, we've moved furniture, we're looking at the space, we're like, okay, we have a hammer, we have some tacks, we have the stuff, we're ready to do this. We have a sketched out design because one of the two of them is a textile designer. So we've sketched out this design and how we're gonna fold it and bend it. And then other people show up with, y'all haven't eaten. And they brought us a meal and they're like, you're gonna need help lifting this. We know how this works. And that is why it's a blue zone.
That is. And I have one question for you. Why are you living in America?
Well, that is in America.
That is.
It's in Central America.
North. Why are you in U.S.?
North, yeah, why in
USA?
USA? Yeah,
Sorry, I'm a stickler for that.
Why are you under this government?
I mean,
Yes, why are you under
I
this
just feel
government?
nothing of that in our culture. I mean,
It's
maybe in
very
certain diasporas, but
slow.
not where I live.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not out of the conversation. And I visit it and I participate in it.
We've
but
talked
it's
about
not,
it. Like, what would it be like to move to Costa
This is
Rica?
where, this might be one of the many places I spend time in.
It's
And
like a
I
working
think
example of just real community.
there's two ways
Yeah.
to think about that.
It was
though.
like that when I was in Costa Rica.
There's one way is, well, let me go where there is community and tap into that. And you have a connection to that, and I in no way want you to feel like you have to distance yourself from that. But the other way is, I'm going to build this. And I think one of the things that we haven't cracked yet, I hear a lot of people my age who feel this way. They're like, well, if we want it, we need to build it. Like, the only way to get this is to start investing in your neighbors and investing in your family and being that person who says, hey, I heard you hadn't eaten yet. I got to bring you food. But I think we're feeling it's kind of shallow and hollow because it's not backed by any sort of spiritual practice. And that's not me saying we all need to convert to the same religion, but I think there is, these big moments like a death in the family. It puts a lot of things in perspective, and it makes you remember what we share, and it makes you want to look back and remember all the people who came before. And without that shared context, really, really difficult to do, but not outside of our capability.
We can always build community.
Yeah.
You can always build community. I feel like I live in a world where if I were sick, somebody would bring me food. But you have to actively be participant in that.
Yeah.
Meaning that
And not waiting till the person dies. to be
right,
there.
like you mentioned that A, B, or C, here's C, right? Like you just mentioned it, you have to be actively involved in that. Means you have to be in connection with that.
Yeah.
And you have to
You
see
also have
yourself
a-
as having a role and a responsibility in that, which I think can feel heavy sometimes.
I also think you have to value people more than things. And I think one of the things that when I was in Costa Rica, I stayed in an open air caswalk, which was modestly built. Like, it was structurally sound, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like a fancy place. And the house where the host lived wasn't like a fancy place. It was like their home. And one of the other things that I noticed was the value, like their home was their home, very modest. But man, when it was like time to like feed people, there were like generations of people cooking together, a mom, a grandma, and like they were all together feeding their people. Like, and it was like, oh, you need to eat, come on over. Oh, so-and-so from down the road's gonna come up and join us. And it was, they had like one little modest TV and they were watching football on it, soccer. But
Hi, World Cup.
yeah, and it was,
Very
and it was
topical.
actually
Great call.
during the World Cup. This was in 2014, 2013. But
Has made it into the World Cup several times.
I was just blown away by how much of the intention was on the people and not on the things. You know, and that was just.
Well, what we were talking about earlier, of being judged by your materials, I think that people have a fear of other people. I think they're afraid of what someone else will say about them, or say about what they bring, or say about what they contribute, or say about what they said, or did they look stupid? And I think that we've developed these barriers of entry. Like, you go and try going and knocking someone's door now.
Oh, I know,
It feels like you're invading someone's privacy.
Yeah.
Like, we even took our neighbors some Christmas gifts one time, and knocking on the door, dog starts barking, someone's looking out the window, like this really random event is happening.
It felt weird. Yeah.
It's like I was.
Did we make a mistake?
I was in an intimate place. Yeah, and
I'm not here.
I think that once you get people together, they start to lean into it, and they're like, "Oh, okay." But any amount of friction, and you get that drawn back. And I was reading this book, and the guy says, "You can't love anything you fear." And so it's hard to, like, you want, and to build community, you have to have two sides willing to let their guard down to love each other, which is awkward because someone could hurt you, and the fear has to go. But there's very little room to deal with fear in our world. You know, like, we watch something or we ignore it as much as we can, but to actually face the fear and to walk into someone's house, or to let them into your house. Like, we don't know who they are. What if they sexually abuse my kids? That's literally my worry about everyone I meet. Like, can I go to a sleepover? I'm like, no, you can't go to a sleepover.
You can't go to a
That's
sleepover.
a fair concern.
Yeah,
That's a really
but
fair
why is it? Do you think it's more likely
valid.
now than it ever was, or do you think that?
No.
Because I went everywhere as a kid. Like, and I was never limited in where I went. They're like, yeah, go find I don't know who they are.
That's a super valid concern, but I don't let people in my house because I'm nervous.
Right.
I'm like, oh, I don't have enough space.
Right.
Or like, my interiors are not
gonna
where I would like
judge
them
my
to be.
stuff.
I think nervous is a light form of fear.
Yeah.
And that fear keeps us from loving and receiving love.
Yeah.
I was having this like moment when I was traveling, because I was away from my family, and that was the point of it. Is that I was like, we've never lived. I live near both sides of my family, my wife's and mine. And I was like, we've never been away from that protective coating
For a long period of time.
in life,
Yeah.
ever. And I was like, what are we? What is my little family unit without this surrounding?
Yeah.
And so we took them around the world to see how it was. And I had this like visceral experience where, and I grew up learning about Bible stories, but I never really looked into one particular one where this group, this community, wanted what they called the Promised Land. And my dad had always told me this story.
Right.
And it was always this triumphant victory, and they defeated this city called Jericho, and they did it with just shouting. It was this really cool story. I loved it as a kid. But while I was away, I thought about it differently, and I thought about a city with no walls in an ancient time. And I was wondering, in my mind, in my grown-up mind, I'm like, wait a minute, that's the worst gift possible. Because that is the most violent place to live. A city has walls in that time for security, for safety, to keep your family there, and keep your food safe. You're exposed with no walls.
Yeah.
And what the Bible story teaches is that the Promised Land is the city without walls.
Because you trust and love everybody, and you don't have to worry about
There's a verse earlier that says the city was consuming its people.
Yeah.
And how many of our cities consume us? You know, like they drain us. And the story has them walking around. They never take violent action. They don't have weapons.
You said they won by
They
shouting?
have trumpets. They shouted.
Awesome.
They walked around in silence for 7 days. This is how the story goes. This is insane. So everyone just hear it.
Like, I didn't write it.
There's a lesson in it. They walk around silently.
I didn't
How intimidating is that, though? Someone walking around your city for 7 days, and the last day they shout and sing, and then the walls fall down. But to me, it was like freedom. You know, like, could we, and so I imagine the story happening within me. Like, my Jericho is the center of me, that the place that I've got guarded.
You are your home.
I am my own promised land inside of me. It's just I keep it walled and no one can get into it. But there's a part of me that's been circling around this city, and when it shouts and the walls come down, that is the gift of what we're meant to live. That
That's when
should
you
be
feel
the dream.
free. Yeah.
Right, you're free. You're free to let people in and let people out.
I love that.
And that's where the fear has to fall away.
That's a beautiful sentiment.
I find this fascinating, and it is my job to wrap us up. I've drawn that straw today. But I find it fascinating that we started with a word like materials, and it so quickly got connected to community and how we treat each other and how we value, how at the end of the day they're just sort of materials. You were like, oh, everybody's focused on these people. So there's something there. I don't know what our
community is the material.
Maybe materials are meant to be shared.
we are all just
Society.
we are all just
material.
fiber woven
Yeah.
into a
Yes.
beautiful.
The fabric of humankind.
The fabric.
that.
I do feel like there's some sort of resolve. I can't put my finger on it right now, but there's part of me that's like, I'm never buying another piece of clothing unless it's handmade from beautiful organic raw material. I just don't think that's going to be realistic for me, especially you haven't heard this, but I'm in a fashion crisis. And everyone close to me knows it.
She's
So
making an app for this fashion crisis.
Claude and I are really working on it on the back end.
That's pretty awesome.
But
She'll be the new Marie Kondo before it's over with.
Hey, even Marie Kondo was wrong.
mine's like dumb data driven. Like it's gonna prove out how taste is this
DDD.
ineffable
Dumb
thing.
data driven.
Dumb data driven.
There we
I
go.
love it.
This is the Clueless app, right?
Yes.
About. I don't know what
Clueless
this
the movie, right? Oh yeah.
the closet.
Yeah, she
Yes,
does
it
that.
is.
Oh,
It is. I forgot about that. That was way before its time.
I should have just prompted Claude like that instead of having
Show
to
it
build
the
my
movie
own.
clip.
Okay, I know you're trying to wrap it up, but is more?
I think when you're a creative, the variety of materials seems like its own sort of abundant.
More can
like
be
you
more.
can create more things.
can be
You
more.
can create more options. But I think it's the ownership thing, right? Like
Yeah.
it can exist without us having to hoard it. Maybe we all just need to rent the runway, is what I'm trying to say.
And maybe you can wear something and then own it. So ownership goes both ways. Maybe like you're wearing something that feels like someone else and you just feel awkward in it, but then you're like, no, I'm gonna own this. This thing looks weird, or this.
Is
I'm gonna
this
identify.
me?
Is
I ask
this-
that a lot.
right, is this
Ooh,
me?
is this me? Ooh, I don't know if I can
Is
be
this
that
me?
girl.
Or can I make this me?
I
Do I-
ask that too. Is this me?
Is this me?
But I can resolve that on my own.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to I can look in the mirror and be like, nope, that's not me. Not me.
You're still not going to wear the floral jumpsuit?
Nope.
Nope.
Not.
Okay.
See, I do have a floral jumpsuit,
That day hasn't come yet.
and
She
so
does.
me.
She actually
And you
does.
should wear it.
Yes.
We have to call it. We've got a little timer that tells us when an hour has run out, and an hour has definitely.
It ran out a while ago, actually, but it's been
yeah.
a good conversation.
I could talk to specifically Kat
I know.
forever. I had
Kat's
such a
such a
good
great
time with you.
conversation.
I didn't know Kat at all before today.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
we
feel
go way
like
back.
Now I'm like in love, and I'm like, please let's get coffee and talk to me about Costa Rica.
Yes, you have to.
Thank you for being here. And thank you all for getting me back on this horse that is the podcast.
Yes.
be back.
We missed you. We're glad you're back.
So he says. Thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
That was great.
That was really fun.
Was great. You're
Let's-
incredible. This was a great topic for you.
Thanks for listening. This podcast was created and developed by our hosts, Reggie Tidwell, Tim Scroggs, and Mary Green. Very special thanks to our guest host for today, Cat Slater. Produced by Mary Green. Live production and editing by me, Will Kennedy. Graphic design by Dylan Garcia. And set design by Megan Scroggs. Today's episode is presented lovingly by 40 Hearts, creators of enduring value.